on the top left side, there's a polyp. What's a polyp? It's a kind of a callus tissue, and it's made by an old infection that was there. That's the thing that makes limitation. And there are three kind of limitation on the left side. Number one, it's a polyp into the sinus. All the black area we can see here is the sinus cavity.
Got it.
The second complication we have here is the septum. We call septum to this bone that it grows between this part of the sinus and the midline of the sinus. And the third complication is that the roots on this molar are into the sinus.
Te lo pongo en la tomografía.
See, as in
Yeah.
so
You can see it there clear.
basically, let me show you on this image. Now we can see here that the roots on the number 57, we have the roots inside of the sinus, which makes more difficult do the sinus lift.
You can see it right
So
here.
if you're thinking about to have an implant on the left side, it's necessary first do the surgical removal on of the polyp,
Okay.
and it can be done in your and by your insurance in your hospital home. I don't know where you come from, by the way. Where you
Texas.
Come? Texas. It can be done in Texas.
Okay.
Once it heals, then we can think about a sinus lift.
Okay.
But number one, it needs to be removed over there. And
What is the polyp made of?
it's callus
Is it
tissue.
bony?
No. It's the membrane. The sinus have an internal membrane, and as you can see, the roots on the 56 or 57 image, you can see that the roots are inside. And can you see between those two roots?
Yes, sir.
There's a little tissue. It's a membrane. It's a membrane that protects the sinus, but in this case,
Yeah,
this membrane is fused to the roots, so it makes me a limitation on the movement if I want to lift it up, because it's attached on the roots.
it would rupture.
Exactly.
And if it's an infection or when there's an infection, it gets contaminated this membrane, which is exactly this. But how or why is that big? Because the contamination makes like a callus tissue, and this callus tissue can grow up. Thanks God, it is not in all the sinus. It's just in a part. We call the tissue in Spanish. It's, I'm not sure if it's exactly the same in English. It's ¿cómo se dice fibrosis quística?
Cystic fibrosis or something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, cystic fibrosis. The thing is, I'm not.
Fibrosis.
That's how it's said in Spanish. I'm trying to do a translation, but it might not be correct.
I
You know?
don't think
So the
cystic
thing
fibrosis.
is, it makes complication if we try to do the sinus lift on the left side. So
Okay,
that's
so in
why.
other words, get the polyp treated
Yeah,
surgically at home,
yeah,
and get the rest of the stuff done that we can get done here.
exactly.
And then once I get all that I'll come back to my family here.
Yes.
Yes, good.
So then
You guys are family now. You knew I adopted you.
Appreciate that. So Jen, now let me take over for, that's the explanation of the doc for the left side, which we won't be working on because of that.
Yeah.
The right side, I'll leave it up to you, doc, but that's...
Okay, that's okay. So I have very good news on the right side.
Okay, let me stop and start